Hello, Auburn First, Colby UMC, and anyone else who might be watching this. If you don't know me, my name is Alex Baker, and I've been a member of the United Methodist Church for basically my whole life. I asked Pastors Daniel and Sheila if I could do a devotional today because the church cannot remain silent on the issue of Black Lives Matter. Before you click away or turn off the video, please just listen for a minute. As your fellow Methodist and follower of Christ, I'm asking for 5 minutes of your time to talk about what is happening in the world today. You might be thinking, ugh, not another political post, or I don't come to church to talk about politics. And I'd like to stop you right there. This is not about politics. This is about people's lives. The Black Lives Matter movement is the direct successor to the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s. The reason many people have condemned the Black Lives Matter protests is because of the chaos, violence, and property damage it's incited. I urge you to consider why the damage of a few buildings is more egregious to you than the murder of dozens of unarmed Black people in just the last few months alone. If this statement makes you uncomfortable or defensive, good. We need to talk about white privilege. Just like many of you, I hold privilege in this country. I'm a white woman living in a society led by white people. Though it might not seem like much, this is an incredible advantage, and I will tell you why. White privilege does not mean that my life has been easy. White privilege is not a guarantee that any of your lives has been easy. We still face hardship, poverty, death, disease, unemployment, homelessness, and any number of other issues. But our race has never been a factor in any of those things happening. When we get pulled over by a police officer for speeding, our biggest fear is that we might get a ticket and have to pay a fine. We can safely assume that the justice system will treat us fairly and give us a proportionate punishment for whatever infraction we've committed. However, that assumption cannot be held by people of color in this country. When Black people are pulled over by police officers, they often have no idea what kind of response they'll be met with. That's because our country often still views people of color as a threat, as more likely to be criminals, just because their faces are not represented by most of our leaders. George Floyd was arrested for supposedly trying to use a counterfeit bill to buy something. Is that a petty crime? Yes. Did he deserve to die for it on the side of the road without a trial? You tell me. If a white man had committed the same crime, I can almost guarantee he would have been treated with more respect and less suspicion than George Floyd. He would likely have been led away in handcuffs and taken to a precinct where an investigation could begin. George never got that chance. And although we can't 100% say it was because of his race, we can't be sure that it wasn't a factor in how he was treated. That is white privilege. If you've watched this long, thank you. Thank you for your time and attention, especially if this subject makes you uncomfortable. It's a sign that you're exposing yourself to new ideas and you're growing as a person and an ally. The last thought I'll leave you with is this. Two of the greatest activists in history, Martin Luther King Jr. and Jesus Christ, were men of color. They both preached about peace, love, and acceptance, and they both died violent deaths. Progress is never easy. It can't be done without internal work and uncomfortable conversations. Please, talk to your friends and family about this issue. Do not remain silent because it is easier. If you can, donate to some of the organizations that I've linked to below, and do your best to help support this vital cause. It really is the least we can do. Thank you.